There's no right way to be a woman. I cut my own path and I love what I do. It's tough work, so feeling comfortable matters. That's why I choose You by Kotex Ultra Thins. They don't just keep me protected, they're now comfier than ever.
Hi, welcome. Total gorilla stream. Sorry for jumping it on everyone. I didn't even tell people I was going to stream, like people who would know. I just am feeling that itch. Hi, Jaws. Hi, Lulu. We're going to get so nasty with it today. I have kept Ibihime from you guys for too long. We must christen chat with Ibihime. By the way, how is my audio? Am I coming through legibly? Can you all hear me good? Go to sleep, Jaws. I'm uploading VODs, you know that. Hi, Squishy. Hi, welcome. We're gonna read about toxic gothic lesbians. Yay! I ask because, God, I looked at my last couple of VODs, guys. I sounded like I was fucking whispering. No clipping there. Yes, Squishy. So many good emotes. I hope everyone isn't going to enjoy the emotes and use them so greedily and so excessively that people get sick of them. Make them a plague on the world. They are so cute. Yeah, Carrie is... She is such a pro. She is such a pro. No one can do it like her. She's actually shown me her own emote base ideas that she's going to use for commissions in the future, which is really exciting. They're very, very cute. Very cute. If I had permission to show them to you guys, I would, but I'm sure she wants to keep that under wraps for a bit more. She said she had so much fun that she wanted to make her own bases to work from commissions in the future. Because we used some free bases that I found. Just, they're great. But today, we are bringing the wonderful Ibihime and her masterwork to the world. This is the visual novel author that got me in to the visual novel scene dangerously. She plagues my soul with her wonderful writings and destroys my heart with her tragedies. And I love it. Every time she says she's writing something new, I'm like, yes, thank you. More food for me. Thank you. I reply to all her Twitter posts because I'm a mega fan. It's bad, guys. I'm down bad in the artistic sense. But I wanted to start us with one of the horror ones, one of the really spooky ones, because it's the month. And it's the month for it. She has her good horrors. Oh, thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the biddies, Jaws. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you, Angel. And some great news for those who aren't in the know. I am actually on the disability benefit for my country. Supported living is what it's called. And I had a discussion with an advocacy group recently. Because, as we all know, disability benefits love taking the money away from us. They love doing this. They go, oh, a reason to cut your costs? To cut the amount of money you're getting? Yoink. But she said that the amount I will get from Twitch, the $50 USD payout, that once I do hit it, will not affect what my benefit company, what the benefit group will be giving me. It just doesn't hit the minimum for what they want to give me. So I'm totally safe. I get to keep my current benefit amount, and I get to have that extra bit as well from Twitch. A great bonus. We love to see it. We love to see it. Sometimes the world is good. Sometimes the world treats us wonderfully. But enough about me. Enough about me. Let's play the super fun, horrible, toxic game that I just am. Oh, I'm so excited to show it to you guys. There's a few I cannot play on stream simply because they're horny. We can't do the hornies on stream. I'm sorry, guys. It's simply not possible. Maybe one day I'll edit. Once I learn how to edit videos, I could do playthroughs on my own time and put them on the YouTube channel. That's the job for future me. We're still learning how to edit. We're still learning how to make pretty infographics for Twitter. Lots of learning going on behind the scenes. Lots of plotting, lots of scheming. But maybe one day I can do that, and we can sort of put little censor bars on the naughty bits. And you guys can get to enjoy those games too in a fun way. Oh, but I'm really excited to share one with you guys. If you really... Hang on. I should link her. We should link her, shouldn't we? We should link our wonderful developer queen. You guys deserve to know her. Hang on. Let me get you a link for you babies. And I will pin it too, so you guys can find her and support her. So if you are interested in her works and want to get to know more about her writing, she does commission artists, so all the arts are generally different for all of the different novels. But if you're curious and enjoy her story today, I don't know if we'll finish it. I hope we can. I hope we can. But if you enjoy the story, do look into her page. Maybe give her a follow. She's on Itch.io as well. Same name. But yeah, go on. Recently, the Horny Red Riding Hood yaoi visual novel she made, it recently had the 18 plus patch approved by Steam. It took like a month for it to be approved. She was really worried. But we're there. It's been approved by Steam, so you can see the horny wolf and the Red Riding Hood boy be really toxic as well. This is also possible. They're fucked up. All good relationships in Uberhumo works are fucked up or full of yearning and despair, as we love to see it. I'll stop stalling. I'll stop rambling. I'll stop doing all this, and we'll get into the meat of it. We'll get into the meat of it. Let me set up the game capture. And we want to go all the way down to there. Beautiful. We've done it, gang. Thank you for making it, Alex. It's lovely to see you. I will turn the music back up. Just let me know if anything is overpowering. Welcome in, Alex. We're having some gothic toxic lesbians for the season. It's going to be really good. I have played it before. I know what we're getting in for. Just let me know if any of the audio issues come up, because I've become very aware of this now after the recent VODs debacle. I'm like, oh god, how can I clip? But let's get into it. Let's do this, gang. Let's get this. There were precious few things in the world that Letitia Reed would have described as perfect. Fields of purple hyacinths were perfect, as was the snap of her mother's sugar biscuits, and the gloss of the conkers which fell from the horse chestnut trees in autumn. These were all trivial matters, insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but they had always cheered Letitia. In comparison to Clara, however, these small things all paled in importance. Clara Mortimer was 16 years of age. She was a lady in the making, born to a well-to-do family, and she lived in a pretty terraced house near Hyde Park. Her house was built in the Georgian style with tall, narrow windows and a red brick facade. It was comprised of 3 stories, not counting the subterranean kitchens where the cook and the scullery maids worked. The house itself was not excessively large, and the Mortimers were not excessively wealthy, but they employed a small number of servants, a housekeeper, a butler, a cook, a coachman, and 3 scullery maids. Letitia herself worked in that pretty terraced house, but she was no mere servant. She was indeed Clara Mortimer's governess. Letitia was 24 and she had begun working for the Mortimers shortly after her 20th birthday. Clara, meanwhile, had been 12 during their first meeting, pale-skinned, dreamy and sweet enough to be disarming. Letitia had been taken with Clara the moment their eyes met, and she was hardly alone in this. The Mortimers loved their little girl to distinction, and the servants all doted on her. The cook often slipped Clara extra cuts of meat during meals, to fatten the wee mite up, as she said in her thick Scottish accent. And the stern housekeeper would do little more than tut when Clara tumbled indoors after taking a turn through Hyde Park, her plaits unravelled and her cheeks apple red. It seemed impossible not to like Clara. She was unfailingly polite, and she was earnest with it, attentive during her lessons, but not a bit dull. Clara liked learning about Britain's past monarchs and the geographic lay of its rolling hills, but she also liked flying her kite in the park and going out to play. It was rare that Clara didn't have a smile upon her face, and oh, what a pretty face she had. Letitia had thought her perfect from their first meeting. There was no child more beautiful, with her russet curls and her rich dark eyes. Clara's beauty did not stop there, however. Like a flowering plant, it could not be contained. Clara's charms increased the older she became. Her hair grew longer and even more lustrous, her eyes inquisitive like that of a bird's, her style of speech soft, lilting, almost musical. Her skin was perfectly clear despite her fondness for the great outdoors, and her limbs were slender and willowy. Her hips filled out, her bosom swelled, and soon her charms were so obvious gentlemen couldn't help but turn their heads when they saw her on the streets. Clara had been loved by the world from birth, and she had fed upon its ample affection. It had nourished her, shaping in her into something exquisite, a true beauty. Letitia's heart swelled when her fingers brushed against Clara's. Her cheeks blushed red and blotchy, and her voice trembled when she spoke. She was just as bad as the gentleman who paused to stare at Clara on the streets, if not worse. Letitia did not simply love Clara. She had, over the course of the years, fallen in love with her. Letitia's obsession with Clara grew and grew until it threatened to consume her. A victim of her own unspoken desires and quite unable to curb them, Letitia soon grew afraid of what they might drive her to do. She did not trust herself to be alone with Clara. Her feelings for the young girl had festered, growing more potent with the passing years, and soon she had found herself utterly enchanted. As such, Letitia felt quite overwhelmed when one afternoon, Clara put to her a most unexpected proposal indeed. Here are our lovely girls. Aren't they cute? I beg your pardon, Miss Mortimer. The teacher stared at Clara, wide-eyed, who in turn only smiled. Oh, don't act coy with me. I know you heard what I said, Letty. Won't you help me change into my new gown? Please, oh please. At 16 years of age, Clara could no longer be called a little girl, but she had retained many of her youthful mannerisms. Sometimes the teacher found this charming, but at that moment she thought it alarming. Lady Marchbank's having a ball tonight, and I need somebody to help me into my new dress. I can't do it by myself. I appreciate that, Miss Mortimer. Oh, don't call me that. I've known you for years, Letty. You're a member of the family now, like Marion. Marion was the Mortimer's housekeeper. Her full name was Marion Clett, and she generally disliked being called anything other than Miss Clett, unless Clara was the one doing the calling. We've finished with lessons for the day, and we're not in the stuffy schoolroom, so you might as well call me Clara. Very well, Clara. I'm glad that you trust me so, but I'm really not the right person for the job. You would be better served asking one of the maids. I know I would, but Abby and Sarah and Marjorie are all busy. I don't have anybody else to ask. If Mother would hire a lady's maid for me, it would be different, but... Clara sighed. You will have to do it if I'm to ever go to this ball. I trust you, Letty. I know how good you are with your hands. Ayo? You flatter me, Miss Mortimer. Clara, and no I don't. Your hands are like magic. If you can play Chopin, you should be able to tighten my corset. The teacher opened her mouth. A reply was on the tip of her tongue, but it soon dissipated, consumed by the traitorous thumping of her own heart. Clara was beginning to undress. She unbuttoned her dress, then heaved it over her head. The material was stiffed. Oh, thank you, Lulu. Very sweet of you to say. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I have to say that's... I did not realize my voice was so lovely for reading it before I started streaming, and it's a nice thing that I was so excited to read things, because it means that I do get to know this now. It's a lovely thing to know now. She unbuttoned her dress, then heaved it over her head. The material was stiff and it tried to resist, but Clara wasn't one to be bested. She tugged at it, and soon the offending article was gone, crumpled in a heap on the ground. Tetia looked at Clara's divested dress. It seemed easier to stare at that than her change in her chemis. Chemis. I always forget how that's pronounced. Let's look it up. Chemis. So it's a sh sound. Okay. Not a k. Chemis. Now, Letty, won't you help me? You ought to hurry or I'll catch a cold. I highly doubt that. It's the beginning of August and the sun is shining. Clara's bedroom window was cold, but the sunlight filtered through the glass well enough. Oof! Stumbled a bit there, illuminating stray specks of dust which danced in the air. Clara's bedroom was on the second floor of the Mortimer's home and it overlooked the garden. The teacher could hear the sound of trees swaying back and forth in the sultry summer breeze, and the faint trilling of bird song. At least the chaffinches sounded happy. Letitia, for her part, felt so tense she feared she might shatter. Oh, I've been there. Regardless, it isn't proper for a lady to lounge around in her underclothes. Then you ought to do something about that. As my governess, it's your job to keep me looking presentable. I suppose that is true, yes. Yes, indeed. Now why don't you lend me a hand? My dress is in my wardrobe. It's the one in taffeta with the roses. Me rose? Her rose? She has good taste. She has good taste, I must say. First, however, you should tighten my corset. I want my waist to look slim. Very well. I think I can manage that much. Letitia tensed. She had passed the point of caring about propriety. Now she wished only to finish this awkward encounter as soon as was humanely possible. Sometimes she wondered whether Clara did this on purpose. It wasn't the first time she'd behaved in an overly familiar manner during the years, though there had been boundaries between them once. Clara had never called Letitia Letty in the early days when Letitia had first arrived in the Mortimer's household. It had always been Miss Reed back then. When had that changed? Letitia couldn't remember. There hadn't been a definitive point, she supposed, when Clara began to relax her. Things had simply started shifting, like sand in an hourglass. Miss Reed had become Letitia, then Letty. Now Letitia was so caught up in Clara she found it hard to breathe. As a governess, she should have put more distance between them. It was her duty to educate, not enable. But she had never been able to say no to Clara. Oh, I love the artwork in this game. Like, oh, that's beautiful. Clara was standing by her open window, her arms raised above her head. Her narrow waist was already cinched in with a corset, but it had been tied loosely. It was hard to play the piano when it was too restrictive. I know, right? Just, goodness me. Whew. I can see why Letitia is struggling a bit. Letitia supposed she could tighten it just a few notches. Letitia's fingers rose to the corset. They trembled as she untied the laces. I think we're all interrupting something, Lula. I feel like we should maybe shut the door. Leave them to it. Why was she shaking so? Letitia cursed herself for her weakness. But their closeness seemed to be affecting Clara too. Her own shoulders were tensed, her slender body quivering. It's on purpose, Chad. Forgive me if I'm being too rough. Oh my God. Letitia's voice sounded rough and ungainly to her own ears, and she hated herself for it. It might have been better if she had not spoken, but the silence made her far too aware of her own body. I don't have much experience with lacing corsets. Let me know if it hurts. Oh, don't worry, Letty. Mother always says a corset isn't tied properly if it doesn't hurt at least a little. But I don't want to cause you any pain. It's fine. Clara glanced at Letitia from over her shoulder, a small smile upon her pretty face. You couldn't hurt me even if you've tried. You've always been so good to me. Oh my God, Chad. Miss Mortimer. Please call me Clara. They were so close, Letitia could feel strands of Clara's hair against her fingers. When she inhaled, she could smell the scent of Clara's skin. This was a similar closeness they achieved when playing the piano, both sharing the same stool, but this was different. They weren't in the stuffy schoolroom, they were in Clara's elegant bedroom, which overlooked the garden, the air hot and heavy with summer. The corset's laces felt slippery in Letitia's hands. She fumbled, and the corset soon came undone. "Oh!" Letitia gasped, dismayed by her own clumsiness. So much for her magic hands. She could play Chopin, but lacing Clara's corset was proving much more of a challenge. "Oh, I'm sorry." "It's all right, we have enough time." "But the ball." "Oh, that." She's not even trying. She's not even trying to pretend. Oh, she's hilarious. Clara's hilarious. She's so funny. Clara pulled her face. "To be perfectly honest, Letty, I don't much care for the silly ball. I'd really rather not go at all." "What? Why not?" "I've been to dozens of balls and they're all the same. They always reminded me of cattle markets, really." Clara is on a mission. She is going to snatch this woman up by the collar if she has to. Mother and father will be doing their best to sell me off to the highest bidder, while pompous young men leer at me from across the dance floor. It's ghastly stuff. Clara shuddered. "I don't want to get married just yet. Why should I pretty myself for the sake of complete strangers? All noblemen are the same. They expect unmarried women like me to grovel before them in gratitude if they so much as glance in our direction." Clara's vitriol on the subject was surprising. She was a sweetly spoken girl by nature, and Letitia had never before heard her so bitter. Perhaps she didn't know Clara quite as well as she had thought. "But Clara, I thought you said this ball was important." "I had to say that so you'd help me. I know how funny you get about your so-called duty. You talk just like a soldier sometimes. I think it's sweet, really, that you don't want to step on the other maid's toes. But I like spending time with you, alone, away from the schoolroom. I just wanted to speak with you for a while." "Ooh, ooh." "We speak every single day, miss." "I know we do, but only as a governess and a student." "Well, I don't want to be your student anymore." "Oh, I'm tired of being treated like a young girl." "Oh my goodness, Chat, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen?" "What? You don't mean?" The laces of Clara's corset turned to liquid in Letitia's hands. She almost dropped them and knew, her heart beating a tattoo against her ribcage all the while. "You don't want to send me away, do you?" "What? No!" Clara's response was a bemused one, her cut glass syllables thick with confusion. "Why would you think that, Letty? You know how much I care about you." I know, I just thought... You said you no longer want to be my student." "I don't, but that doesn't mean I don't want to be with you. I'd like you to treat me like an adult rather than shying away from me. We are friends, aren't we?" "I doubt Miss Clett would approve of our so-called friendship. Or your mother, for that matter." "I know, Lulu, you get it!" She's so intense at this sort of thing. She's so good at these moments. The drama, she loves doing drama in these stories. She lives for it, thrives on it. "I was not brought here to be your playmate. I'm supposed to be your teacher. And you've taught me well, but I'm tired of our lessons. I'm 16 now. And I know enough about the world. I know you say the friend sign is evil, but bestie, these girls don't know what lesbians are. They just know about close friends." She's doing her best, hon. "What do you know?" Letitia spoke softly, hoping to ease Clara's worries. "What is it, Clara? Please speak to me. What's wrong?" "What's wrong, you ask? What's wrong?" Clara had turned now. She faced the teacher with huge stricken eyes, still clad in her underclothes. They haven't gotten past the main task yet. They're completely sidetracked. Her corset was unsecured, and it was beginning to gape, but its topmost laces had been pulled tightly enough to keep it wound about her waist. Clara's brown curls fell around her shoulders. Her eyes were like smouldering flames in the summer heat. They looked unusually wild, like an unbroken colt's. My mother isn't the one in the wrong. She's trying to marry me off already, and I've barely had a chance to live my life for myself. What if she finds the right man at this ball and she trades me away? What then? What then, you ask? Well... The teacher looked into Clara's eyes. It was harder than she had imagined. Her stomach lurched and she felt faint, but still she forced herself to remain steady. It must be hellish, being technically in a position of power and being such a disgustingly bottom woman. She's meant to be in charge, and she's just such a fucking bottom. She's suffering, chat. We need to put her in her place just so she can live better. She could not afford to go to pieces. You will not be married right away, even if your mother does find you a suitable match. You should have a few months at least to make peace with the idea. But a few months isn't enough. If I get married... When you get married, I'll have to leave home. I won't see Marion again, or Abby, or Sarah, or Marjorie. I'll miss them all, and Mother and Father. And I'll miss you too, Letty. I don't want to leave you. Clara's voice rang through her bedroom loud and clear. It seemed to resonate in the air, reverberating through the very floorboards. Lucia felt every one of these words keenly. They struck the air out of her, almost knocking her senseless. Clara would miss her. She would miss her. Duh! This is the bottom brain mindset, guys. This is what they're plagued with every day. We need to help them. Well, what do you think? Please, say something. Tita stared at Clara. Her young pupil was red-faced and breathless, her chest heaving with exertion. Her eyes were anxious and panicked, her lips pursed. Suddenly, the teacher was struck with the intense, almost overwhelming desire to press Clara to her bosom and hold her close. She would kiss the encroaching tears from Clara's eyelashes, and she would kiss her lips, and between her lips she would say, Oh, it did not matter what she would say, for this was all a wild fantasy. Letita had indulged in such thoughts before, but she had never consecrated them. She could not. Her wild imaginings were ungodly, they were immoral, they were sick, and Letita felt sick too. What would Clara say if she knew of her desires? Letita dared not imagine. Surely she would castigate her. Such feelings were hardly natural. Letty? Clara peered at her governess, her own problems momentarily forgotten. Letty, is something wrong? You've come over quite pale. Do you feel all right? Clara extended her fingers. They were long and white and perfect, and Letita had wondered, though she tried not to wonder it, how it would feel to press the pads of those fingers to her lips and slide them into her mouth. My goodness. Letty? Clara's fingers curled around Letitia's wrist. And this was all the prompting Letitia needed to step back, her movements jerky and unnatural. Sorry, Miss Mortimer, I'm not in my right frame of mind. It's far too hot, you see. I think I need to lie down in my own room. What? But Letty, what about my corset? Clara called after her governess, but her plaintive bleating was in vain. Letita was already walking away, her shoes falling briskly against the wooden floorboards. With every step, her self-loathing mounted, black and thick as tar in her throat. It made her feel sick. It was clear to Leticia now, in a way it had never been before, that she could no longer live under the same roof as Clara and Mortimer. That's right, guys. This story isn't about Clara and Leticia getting together. It never was. The game fucking got you. We're not going to see Clara again after she leaves the house. It's not going to happen. No more Clara, guys. This is the last you'll see of her. Take it in. Take in the beauty. While you can. She's so lovely, isn't she? I find the necklace is a lovely touch. It really pulls your attention to the bosom area. If things did not change, Leticia feared she might truly go mad. The promise of change came sooner than Leticia had imagined, a scant 2 weeks after a disastrous interaction with Clara in her sunlit bedroom. It arrived discreetly with little fanfare in the form of an advert tucked away in the pages of the Morning Post. The advertisement was small and easily overlooked, the black font hemmed in by a plain rectangular border. I didn't know that, I'm sorry. I don't know your work schedule, dude.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's always been like that. There's been no changes for the past 4 years, maybe 5 years.
There's never been any reason for me to know it, dude. I may have fucked up. I may have fucked up just a bit. So, I live with family. And I Huh? Girl, I don't know you. So I live with family. And I forgot that the person in the room next to me can't cope with noise when sleeping, and they have work tomorrow. This is a really fucking short stream now. Sorry. God, that's embarrassing. Well, we'll check tomorrow's stuff. Yeah, welcome in, Alice. We should be able to continue tomorrow. Thanks for the soup. And thank you for the follow, Han. Oh god, this is funny. I just met my follower goal of 70, thank you. What a way to do it. I will try and continue this tomorrow. I really want to keep playing. I really, really do. But this'll be it for today. I will put the VOD up. Don't worry. I'm not going to skip this VOD just because it's short. It will go up, don't worry. if you want to see past VODs, go to the YouTube channel and the About page on my channel. I have Twitter, and yeah, I won't be able to stream at the same time tomorrow because I haven't needed to know about his work schedule before. I haven't tried to do this before in the evening. So he may do it earlier tomorrow, but that's okay. It will still happen tomorrow. Oh my goodness. What I might do is I might wake up super early. What I might do is wake up super early so we can get jump right back into it. That does sound fun. I like the idea of that. We'll get some energy into our bones and then we can do that. Thank you for showing up for this weird little gorilla stream, guys. Thank you for the follow, Alice. That was much appreciated. And thank you for just popping in out of nowhere. Very sweet. I'll see you all tomorrow, guys. Oh my goodness. I'll see you all tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye. Actually, we should raid someone. Let's try and pass the love on to someone sweet. Oh, Lulu fan. Lulu, we love Lulu. Let's raid someone. Let's try and pass on the love a bit. Oh, so there's someone streaming right now who's from the same country as me. We're a tiny island. She's playing a very different game, but she's got very similar vibes to me. I really like her. One day I'd like a model made by her, because her art is really good and I think it would work really well. Kyra Bliss, I don't know them. I'll make a note, and then in the future, if they're streaming, I'll give them a look. But thank you. I'll make a note, hun. I got you. But we'll get her. That pen's not working. We love having pens that work. That's a cute name. That's a very cute name. Yeah, let's go take her. Let's take her. She's in the same country as me. Very small country. And I love her style. And I love her vibes. So let's get her. Thank you for showing up, everyone, for this weird little stream that happened out of nowhere. I much appreciate it. Let's get this. Good night, Alex.